So what are we going to do today? Today we're going to learn by doing. We're not just, I'm soon going to be finished, and you'll be actively involved in this process. And we're going to learn about Web 2.0 by using Web 2.0 tools. So, ever been to a workshop where they're telling you about how to teach, and they teach it in a totally different way? But we're not going to do that. You're going to use the tools that you're going to learn about today. Okay? We're going to use 2 wikis and 1 forum. One of the wikis will be an external wiki using Wikispaces, and the other wiki will be internal to the Friends Select Online Learning Center. So you'll experience the 2 wikis. I'll show them to you in a moment. A forum is just sort of a fancy name for a different, it's not exactly like a blog, but it's similar to a blog. And the forum is where you'll make some entries about Pink and the book, A Whole New Mind. And so those are the 3 things that we're going to do today. So let me go to the Online Learning Center and show you the space, the virtual space that you're going to work in. You're going to work in physical spaces in different rooms, but you're also going to work in this virtual space. And these groups are located within this building. This whole thing could work just as well if one group was in India and one group was in China and one group was in England. Now the time difference would be a little bit different, but the basic connection would be the same. So you get to this, and most of you have been there already. So you can go to the faculty and staff area and go to the Online Learning Center and log in. Now, if you have trouble logging in or something like that, as long as you have 3 or 4 people who can log in your group, a nice way to do this is to have 2 or 3 people around one computer discussing things and rotating who's at the keyboard. So if you're having trouble, don't get bogged down by just logging in all day. If you have enough people there that are logged in, use their computers and continue on. All right, then what we're doing today is our committees and Pink Web 2.0. And there are some resources here from before, but the resources for today will be located in the space session 1. Here's the Pink forum that I talked about. And if you open that, it reminds you of the questions, and then there are discussions here. So your group can discuss these, and when you have some response to make, open one of these discussions, whichever area you want. And I have a starting discussion, so you would hit reply, and it gives you a space to write in your response. When you're finished, you simply say, post to forum, and it'll post your response to the forum. And if you see some things that other people have said, and you want to respond to that, that would be great. The next thing is the wiki. This is the external wiki. Now, there's a 2-minute video that gives you a little bit of instruction for how to use this wiki. I would encourage you to view that. It's a good 2 minutes. It also tells you how to set up a new wiki, so that if your group decides that it wants to use a wiki as one of your applications, it gives you the instructions on how to do that. It's very easy. But for today, I don't want you to set up a new wiki. I want you to use the one that I've constructed. And that's found here. When you open the 3rd element in that space, it tells you you will all log in as FSS faculty, and the password is FSSWeb20. And then once you have that information, then you can log into the wiki. Since I've logged in before, it remembers my login, and so it's not asking me for that, but it'll ask you for a password and log in. One little thing, since we have a lot of people working on this wiki right now, there may be a time when you have it open for edit and somebody else has it open for edit, and it may complain about that. You can save it as another file, which we can bring up later and add to the wiki. So if it complains about that, that's what you can do. So here, if your group wants to investigate more about what Web 2.0 is all about before you get into individual things, you can do that. If you get good links, you can add them to this part here. If you're interested in the constructivism thing that I talked about, here's the link to that. And then, let's say that your group is most interested in text-based applications. So you open this up, everything that has a line under it means that it links to another page. So before you make an entry, you probably want to get to the end of that. So if you open up this and maybe your group is most interested in blogs, then you can open up the blogs section, and there's already some information. I went ahead and registered our school with Blogmeister, so if you are interested in doing a public blog, there's a code for our school, and you put that code in, Friends Select will come up, and you can make a blog in Blogmeister. And then if you discuss it in your group and you have some great suggestions for how this can be used in class, you found it online, or you just come up with the ideas within your group, you can open up this Uses in Class. And now we're at a space that doesn't have any lines underneath, so this would be a good place to enter this. You hit edit this page, and then you can write whatever you want. And when you're finished, go down to the bottom of this page and say Save. And here the Save Draft. So if somebody else has saved something and you're in the middle of an edit, it might suggest that you save a draft rather than allowing you to save it for real. Okay. No, I don't want to navigate through this page. So then, the last thing is the direction that we are headed. Now, if you don't get to this, it's more important to move methodically through and get things done. So that if you don't get to this point, it's okay. We have the next time is when you're really concentrating on what you really want to do. What this would be helpful for is if we know that people want to do something that you want to put up on YouTube or whatever, we can begin to think of the resources that you're going to need. You're going to need a camera, you're going to need some editing software and things like this, and it'll help in our planning. So even if you have a direction, whether it's very fleshed out or not, that's okay. But if you have a direction that you think you're going in, then open up this wiki, and if you're group one, then the same thing applies. This is an internal wiki that you or your class could create within the Online Learning Center. Go to Edit, and then you can edit this and save that. And nobody else will probably be in your space, so you wouldn't have any trouble about that.